A very good evening, friends. I hope I am audible. No. Right. I hope so. Right. Right, my dear friends. Now, today, what overall we'll be focusing, I'll tell you. Approximately, we have another 6 months for your preliminary examination. Say, for example, your May 24th will be your next preliminary examination. So, our focus will largely lie on the strategies what I can say, for example, make for another 6 months, right? So predominantly how to clear this preliminary examination, but strategy alone will be our main focus as such. Okay, right. Now, right. See here, somewhere I should understand. Say, for example, most of you would have written this examination. Some of you will be writing this examination for the very first time, whatever it is the case. Few things we know that this examination is a 3-stage process. I'll be having this preliminary examination. Once I clear this prelims, I'll be writing the mains examination. And very recently, that mains examination result was also out. Once you're lucky enough in mains examination, you'll be called for interview. I agreed. We have 3 stages. Now, say for example, generally, if you ask me, among the 3 stages, which stages or which stage is comparatively difficult? See, I would say all 3 stages, yes, they have their own difficulty level. But say, for example, in the 3 stages, if you ask me, which is more difficult as such, comparatively difficult, if you ask me, I would say preliminary examination. Correct. Right? It is not so easy. Or comparing mains examination, I would say preliminary examination is much more difficult. If you ask me why, reason is very simple. Mains examination, we have a well-defined syllabus. We have syllabus running for pages, but whatever it is the case, we have a well-defined syllabus. What to read, what not to read. Almost everything is, say, for example, given in a detailed fashion. Correct. So topic by topic, I can select, I can prepare for mains examination. Preliminary examination, what is the biggest challenge if you ask me? Challenge is very simple. You do not have a well-defined syllabus. See, I agree we have a syllabus for preliminary examination, but that syllabus, what we have is only indicative in nature, right? And that's the reason slightly this prelims examination questions are becoming tricky. Mains examination, I'm telling you, if I have a greater understanding of the syllabus, hardly I'll be seeing a question which is asked outside my syllabus. Still, I would somewhere say that mains examination, never they'll ask outside the syllabus. If at all, if I believe that they are asking outside the syllabus, means my understanding of the syllabus is not so great. Okay. So what I'm just trying to put a point is very simple. Mains examination, it's a topic-based preparation. But preliminary examination, since the syllabus is not well defined, what best we have to do, we have to go for a book-based preparation. Okay, whatever it is the case, right? As I said, somewhere we are going to develop a strategy for facing this preliminary examination, which is the toughest among the 3 stages as such. Now here, you know that this preliminary examination has 2 papers. Conventionally, we call this paper 1 as general studies paper and the paper 2 as CSAT. I'll have the same parlance, right? GS and CSAT. Again, somewhere I believe that CSAT is only qualifying in nature. Somewhere you should get somewhere approximately 33%. Maybe say, for example, you will be clearing with that mark. Okay, whatever it is the case, it is just qualifying in nature. I'm not saying that again CSAT is easy, right? Last 3-4 years, barring that last 2 years, or to be very precise, if I'm taking the question paper of 2023, somewhere I felt that CSAT was very, very difficult. Even I have seen students who have qualified the natural cutoff of GS, but still they were not able to qualify the cutoff what? CSAT. At least the qualifying cutoff, they were not able to somewhere cross it. Okay, whatever it is the case, right? CSAT has to be taken care. CSAT should not be seen, say for example, as, or you should not take it very, very lightly. The basic minimum respect you have to give it for CSAT, correct? Whichever area, somewhere you feel that improvement is needed, you have to do your SWOT analysis, and accordingly you have to improve, say for example, your strength. Wherever you have a weakness, remove this weakness, convert into strength, whatever it is the case, right? You work on, right, your weaker areas in CSAT. Okay, now what I'll do, Largely, I'll focus on this area, general studies. Okay, I'll call this general studies. Okay, right. Or the so-called paper, GS paper, will be concentrated. Now here, again, I know that there is a syllabus. My syllabus somewhere indicates 7 different papers, right? 7 different papers. Maybe, say, for example, if I'm just taking the crux of these 7 different papers, right? Most of you know, so-called, I'll call it as a subject. I'll call it as a subject. Any idea? Right. Maybe I can see your chat in front of me, right? You can also participate. If I'm asking you, what are the different areas or subject we have for polity? Can you help me, my friends? Economy, agreed. Economy, very good. Fine. Economy is one of the major area. History, yes, accepted. Polity, accepted. Very good. Fine. Geography, very good. 4, you have done 4. 5, environment is 5. Very good. Right. Is there any other subject which is important for your preliminary examination? Current affairs. I can see current affairs. International relation is actually not part of your syllabus. Okay. But still, even science and technology, I'll reserve the science and technology. Even social issues is not part of my syllabus. I end up Indian national movement is there, accepted. Okay, very good. General science. I got it. I got it. Now here I'll tell you. Whatever you have given, ethics is not part of preliminary examination. Ethics is there only for mains examination. Okay, whatever you are given, my dear friends, I will consolidate, right? I'll put all this subject into 7 major groups. Okay. Number 1, I'll start with polity, right? Polity. Okay. Generally, you call it as polity, but still, if you read the syllabus, right? Syllabus definition says slightly it is different. Okay. And again, when I just talk about, say, for example, the second subject, I'll put it as geography. Geography, right? Okay. The third subject I will call it as what? History. History. And the fourth subject, let me call it as economy. Economy, right? And the fifth subject I'll call it as environment. Environment. Okay. Sixth subject, maybe I'll call it as general science. General science. And seventh, I'll call it as current affairs. Current affairs. Okay. So all the syllabus of preliminary examination, if I just take it, somewhere if I'm just consolidating and putting as somewhere different subjects, I'll be putting it as the 7 different subjects as such. I repeat again, it will be polity, geography, history, economy, environment, general science, and current affairs. Now you may ask, what is this? I have seen people asking me to read science and technology. Correct. I agree. Science and technology, you have questions from science and technology. But all that question that is asked in science and technology is actually not asked as science and technology. It is asked from this basic, say for example, right? What I call them as what? General science, part of general science, applied part of general science, science and technology. What is your general science? Right? What I studied in school, I'm telling you, most of the syllabus, what is there, except your current affairs, it is nothing but the subjects what I've read in school. And that too, most of this subject I would have read, common to everybody. Am I right? I would have read at least till what? Class 10th, right? Only thing is that few value addition, I am just doing it. Say, for example, right, for the demand of the examination, I am just doing it. Correct. In that way, my dear friends, somewhere when I talk about general science, what is your physics, chemistry, biology? That is your general science. But as I said, applied part of this general science. All right. So wherever I have this, say for example, right, that part of general science or the applied part of general science, which is there in news, will be given more importance as such. Okay. Whatever it is the case. General science, yes, it is. Right. So-called science and technology, I can put it under this general science. Then again, when I read the syllabus, your preliminary examination syllabus itself will be starting with current affairs. Right. They say, right? Say for example, what exactly they say? Almost say for example, events of national and international importance. That is nothing but what? Current affairs. Okay. Right. I'm going to read about current affairs. I'm going to study about current affairs. Then when I just talk about the 5 major pillars, my dear friends, I'm telling you, right? All that I have ordered, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just the numbers, you can jumble this number, right? Every year, say for example, sometimes geography will be given more importance. Sometimes polity will be given more importance. Sometimes economy will be given more importance. Sometimes history will be given more importance. What is the order we do not know. But let me tell you, all these 5 subjects, what I have marked it, generally we call these 5 subjects as pillars of your preparation, right? Pillars of your preparation. And now, normally, my dear friends, if you ask me, okay, an examination, what will be the composition of the question? Generally, I find 70 to 80 percentage of the questions, 70 to 80 percentage of the questions asked in the examinations, right, will be asked from this, say, for example, the first 5 topics, what I have just mentioned. Sometimes this number can also go up to 85 percentage. Okay. So remaining, say for example, that 15 percentage or 20 percentage you take it, maybe say for example, general science and current affairs put together, I can somewhere have it. Okay. As I said, my dear friends, this even 85 percentage, generally they come from these 5 areas. But I'm telling you, this 5 areas has something what makes your preparation easier. For example, history, if you ask me, okay, what is an advantage of studying history? I would say history is one of the very vital areas. History is one of the 5 major pillars of your preparation. But what is the beauty of history, if you ask me? It is one-time investment. Once you read history, things are not going to change. Correct? Updations needed is what? Very, very limited. At max, what you're going to do is revision, not the updation per se. Okay. So history, I feel it is more like one-time investment. So is the case of geography. Geography, very rarely it changes. Physical geography doesn't change. At least, say, for example, even historical time scale, it doesn't change. Human geography may change. That to say, for example, population geography may change. But how frequent? Very simple. Whenever the census comes, then it will change. Once in 10 years, it will change. Am I right? Somewhere I understand, right? The last census, what was conducted was 2011. After that, we never had a census so far. Maybe, say, for example, if you're writing this examination in the year 2027, then that part of geography will change, right? If that is the case, past, say, 1.5 decade, the major chunk of geography did not change. Am I right? Again, I see geography is more like one-time investment. My dear friends, polity, except the amendment and changes, I understand, say, for example, most of the polity, near complete polity is going to be remain what? Change. Sorry. It's going to remain static. If that is the case, I have to invest more time in what? Or I have to say, for example, right, my return on investment will be maximum in what? Polity. Right? Similarly is the case of what? Economy. Economy, concept is not going to change. Am I right? Of course, I understand. Say, for example, other data associated with will be changing. But as I said, concept is not going to change, right? At least the concept, if at all, if I'm just going to add it, I'll bring it under what? Static part as such. Okay. Then say, for example, environment, again, the concept is not going to change, right? Maybe all this recent development will be changing. So what I want to tell you, if at somewhere superficially, if I just talk about the syllabus, again, numbers, right? I don't have any statistics for it, but still, let me tell you, near about the 70 percentage of your area or your syllabus, what you're going to prepare for preliminary examination, nearly 70 percentage of the syllabus, somewhere I believe it is more static, right? It means it may not change over a period of time. So now comes the question, okay, fine. If at all, if I am seeing this preparation in terms of ROI, right? Return on investment. What is your investment? Very simple. Time is your investment. How much time I am investing and how much mark I am somewhere getting in return. That's what I call them as what? Return on investment. Okay. Now see, somebody asked, general science, is it important? Of course, every topic is important. Prelims is one place where I cannot say that this is not important. But let me tell you, always go for prioritization. Why I normally say, for example, suggest prioritization? Because mains examination is different ballgame. Every mark is important, correct? Because say, for example, one question somewhere, if one part of the syllabus, if I'm not reading it, right? Somewhere assume that I have not prepared only one topic, one word. I have 7 pages of syllabus. In 7 pages of syllabus, somewhere I'm talking about a situation where one word I have not read. One question is being asked. 15 marker question. I'm not able to answer it. I don't have a choice. Every question is compulsory in mains examination. So is prelims. Okay. 15 marker. I assume that if I would have written this 15 marker, I would have got what? 8 marks. Okay. I would have got 8 marks. My dear friends, mains examination, if I miss one word in my syllabus, there is a chance that one question in the examination I may miss. If I'm missing one question in the examination, there is a chance that I may miss 8 marks. If I'm missing 8 marks, means there is a chance that I may miss 100 ranks. Right? Now, I want to highlight losing this 100 ranks. Correct? So what I'm trying to say, mains examination, one topic by mistake, if I'm leaving it, there is a chance that I may live somewhere around, I may leave 100 ranks in my final gradation or the rank list. But prelims is not the case. Prelims, my dear friends, be very practical. Be very practical. I have, say, for example, 100 questions. Every year, I have 100 questions being asked. Right? Convert into marks, this 100 questions you convert into marks, I have somewhere around 200 marks. Right? You know, right? Last, say, for example, few years. Okay, I'll ask you, last year cutoff. What was last year official cutoff that was released? I'm talking about 2024 examination. Any idea, my difference? What is the last final means? Official cutoff. We'll be having the access. Just type it as, say, for example, cutoff civil service examination. Okay, 87, 87, 85. Okay, general. Take it for general candidate, somewhere around 87, 88. Okay. I think somewhere around 87 point something like that. Okay, I'll take it as 88 approximately. 88. 88 was my cutoff. But on small clarity, this 88 marks is not the cutoff out of 200 marks. This 88 was the cutoff for 194 marks. Why, if you ask me technically, last year 3 questions was dropped. Only 97 question was taken for evaluation purpose. Very good. Dinesh, thank you. That is the exact cutoff. 87.98. That is the exact cutoff. Right? Somewhere I have rounded off. I have taken it as what? 88. So 88 out of 194. Correct. Even if I'm just somewhere converting that into percentage, my dear friends, can you somewhere, if I'm converting into percentage, roughly it is about, say, for example, 45%. Right? Plus or minus 2 also you take it. I don't mind. Correct. So what I want to tell you, preliminary examination, 45% of mark, if I get it, I'm qualifying it. So why to be cat on the wall always? Okay. Safer side, somewhere if I have the ability to somewhere score 50 to 60% of marks in preliminary examination, I'm qualified. I'm going to write what? Mains examination. So my dear friends, I should understand this strategy. This is what we call them as a strategy. Okay. Whenever you want to work more, I would say after reaching the safe zone, if you want to work more, I would say that you concentrate more for mains examination. Correct? But still you reach the so-called safe zone, 50 to 60%, right? You have to work more in what? Preliminary examination as such. I'm telling you, if 50 to 60 somewhere, if you feel you are in a safer zone, technically speaking, very theoretically, you have a liberty to somewhere, say, for example, forego 40% of the question. Very theoretically speaking. This may not happen in reality, but still. Imagine somewhere, say, for example, I am a student of extraordinary accuracy. Correct. I am attending only 45 questions. All 45 questions is right. Then also I stand a chance to write what? Mains examination. Right. I am leaving 55 questions. I am writing only 45 questions. I am the master god of accuracy. Right. If that is the case, what will happen? Right. Still, I will be writing what? Mains examination. Okay. So what I'm just trying to say, this calculation gives you a liberty. What is that liberty? Liberty is very simple. Whenever you feel one area is not so important, once in a while, once in a decade, they ask a question, right? Or once in half a decade, they ask a question. You concentrate on that area, right? Or I'll put it right, somewhere your investment of time in that area should be minimal. I'm not saying you leave it. No, I'll never say you leave it. But when I talk about revision component, for example, if I believe polity is one area, of course, polity is very important. Whenever And I just talk about your preparation policy is very, very important. Reason I'll tell you. Return on investment again. The number of questions asked in polity is generally higher. On an average, somewhere I'll be having 15 to 20 questions can be asked, right? Even if I say minimum 12 to 13 questions, they ask from polity. Maximum side 20 plus also they can ask in polity. But what I understand, polity is one subject. Among the different subjects I have, polity is one subject where the maximum number of questions I can make it right. Any aspirant, any serious aspirants, my dear friends, his accuracy level in polity will be very, very great. Correct. So generally, I would say that okay, polity is one area where your investment of time should be more. How? What is this investment of time? This is quantification of time. More than the quantification of time, I would say the revision, the number of revisions what I am doing. See, I agree that all these areas you should read. Do not leave any areas. Correct. Even current affairs, I'll tell you what part of current affairs that you should focus. But all this area you read, but the strategy comes. What is the number of revisions I am going to do? Polity, my difference. Do not hesitate doing multiple revisions of polity. 10 times if you want to read one book, right? Whichever, the popular book available for polity, it's worth it. If you ask me geography, I'll give you one book, right? Fundamentals of Physical Geography. Last to last year, this is a very small book, very small book, right? Hardly say, for example, all this, say, for example, other pages you leave it, this book, content material is only about 100 pages, right? Approximately 100 pages, my dear friends. In 100 pages book, what somewhere we are saying, year on year, line by line, they're asking questions. Class 11, part A, this book is called as Fundamentals of Physical Geography, right? 2024 alone, one single book, you had 8 questions, direct questions. Forget about the indirect questions. When I say line by line, comma full stop also they have not changed. Now NCERT is becoming a source of not only knowledge, but also source of questions. Correct? If that is the case, see, for example, right? Again, last year, if I just take it, 3 questions, 3 direct questions from the same book. Last year, somewhere, say, for example, 2023, if I just take it, somewhere around nearly 5 questions they asked. So, on an average, see, one small book, right? So, I was just talking about the significance of this one small book. What I'm just trying to say, if I know that this book, certainty of question being asked is very high, I should not hesitate in going for more number of revisions. Okay, in that way, my dear friends, every area is important. I agree this fact, but you have to concentrate that revision aspect. You have to take it very, very seriously. In that regard, what I'll do. Okay, so what I'll do, my dear friends. Largely, I'll just give you an idea that what are the different subjects, maybe with what book you can go with it. I'll start with my own subject called as geography. Geography. And I'm telling you, this syllabus for geography is going to be very, very vast. Very vast. Why I'm telling you, if you read the syllabus that is given in UPSC notification, right, it says physical, social, and economic geography of India and world. If I somewhere take the meaning of this, understanding says, right, entire geography of the world as well as India, somewhere I should study. Okay, physical geography also I should study, human geography also I should study. If that is the case, my dear friends, if I start decoding this subject, geography, I'll be having 4 broad areas. Four broad areas. What are the four broad areas? Number 1, I'll call it as what? Physical geography of the world, or I'll call it as what? World physical geography, meaning both are same, right? World physical geography. This is one area what I'm going to read. Okay. The second area what I should concentrate is India physical geography. India physical geography. The third area, I'll call it a subdivision also. The third area, I call them as what? World human geography. Human geography. Okay. And the fourth, I'll call it as what? The India human geography. Okay. These are the 4 different areas in geography I'm going to read. Right. Now, here, if you ask me, what is this order of importance? Which area, more number of questions they ask every year? Undoubtedly, this is The very first area. Okay. And you take it for granted, my dear friends. Nowadays, I do not suggest any other standard books apart from this particular book. I am just suggesting you NCERT Class 11, Part A. The name of this book, you call them as what? Fundamentals of Physical Geography, right? That too, what you have to do, this book, I think nowadays it comes with the 14 different chapters, right? And that is divided into somewhere around 6 different units, correct? There, my dear friends, I'll tell you, this particular book, you try concentrating more on this unit 2, unit 4, and unit 5, right? Unit 2, unit 4, and unit 5. If it is somewhere, furthermore clarity, if you want to get it, I'll call this unit 4 as climate, right? Unit 5 as oceans or water, right? Unit 1 is more like geomorphology, or simply you call them as what? Landforms. Landforms itself, 2 units are dedicated in NCERT. But what I'm just trying to say, this unit 2, unit 4, and unit 5, somewhere you concentrate. And again, I'm telling you, climate, my dear friends. Particularly, I can take one example. With respect to isotherm, 2025 also they asked one question of isotherm. 2024 prelims also they asked one question from isotherm. 2023 also they asked. Same page, same para, 3 years, 3 different questions. All 3 came from the single chapter called as what? Climate. Climate, every line that is given in NCERT, you take it that it is very, very important. Okay. Now, if at all, if you are giving importance to geography, 2024 geography dominated. Near about 25 questions, or I would say slightly greater than 2022 questions, it is asked from what? Geography. Such a great number of questions. Once in a while it happens, right? 2024, it is a geography paper. More like a geography paper. In that geography also, which area dominated, if you ask me? Climate. Dominated. Okay. So give more emphasis for this book, right? And the unit, what I said, go more number of revision. And here, right? The website is okay. Okay, now. Number 2, again, India Physical Geography also equally important. For India Physical Geography, the book what I would suggest, again it is NCERT. NCERT, Class 11, Part B. The name of the books, we call them as what? India Physical Environment. Okay. I'm suggesting 2 books. These 2 books are going to be a game changer, right? Particularly this World Physical Geography, the fundamentals of, right? Okay, somewhere this book, as I said, the fundamentals of physical geography is going to be very, very important. And number 2, right, my friends, this 2. And when I just talk about, say, for example, right, when I talk about other 2 books, the number of time or the number of revisions what you're going to somewhere, say, for example, make regarding this book, slightly you can reduce it. I'm telling you, high risk individuals, students who take maximum risk, even if you're going to leave this book, right? Or if I'm very okay that only the selected topics of these 2 books I'm going to read it, still I'm comfortable, right? Still comfortably I can say, for example, qualify this examination. Okay, right. Now here. Okay. So geography, I've just given you an idea that what at least as a book I have to take it, I have to prepare it. Polity, there is a universal choice, right? Polity, right? Instead of me talking about polity, universally say, for example, you have an answer for polity. What is the favorite book? What you are preparing? Any idea, my difference? What is the book you are going with? Okay, LK, right? You're going with Lakshmikant. Okay, I also agree that Lakshmikant is a safer book, but I would suggest along with LK, Lakshmikant book, also say, for example, you add this basic books of NCERT only for this conceptual clarity purpose, right? Okay. Indian Constitution at work. Okay, if I'm not wrong. Okay. Okay. That is okay. You can take it. But Lakshmikant is the most popular book. If at all, see, D.D. Basu and all, say, for example, I believe that D.D. Basu belongs to more than, it's a 2 decade book, means more than 2 decades old book. Okay, but I agree. See, for example, even Lakshmikant, you take it. I would say, for example, Lakshmikant is more like an editor. He's not like an author. Say, for example, Lakshmikant has taken the reference of so many books. The primary reference of Lakshmikant book was taken from what? D.D. Basu book. Then, say, for example, he has taken from what? Subhash Kashyap book, Our Parliament and Our Constitution. Okay, these are some of the books. And what I understand, somewhere I have a consolidated version, Lakshmikant, somewhere I feel it is safer. Along with it, as you said, right, Indian Constitution at work on NCRT you talked about. Okay, political system, NCRT you can take it. Am I right? Indian political theory also you can take it. Am I right? Only the basic concept you take it. Polity or super safe. I'm telling you, do not hesitate. At least say, for example, reading this polity at least for 10 times. 10 times, I'm telling you, it is minimum. Similarly, that book I told you, right? The geography, fundamentals of physical geography, 5 to 10 times. If time permits, go for 10 times, but minimum 5 times. Without 5 times, don't go for examination. Okay. So polity, it is super simplified. Okay. Polity, you have a universal, say, for example, at least a solution for it. Then comes history, my dear friends. History. Right. See, for example, history. If I talk about the syllabus, what is my syllabus in preliminary for history? I have very simple. They say history of India and Indian national movement. Correct. See, to be very precise, when I say history of India, right, history of India, generally they're talking about history of India. History of India and Indian national movement. Correct. See, Indian national movement itself comes or falls within the so-called chronological sequence of history of India. But still, when they say Indian national movement, it means they are going to give more emphasis on what? That the mass struggle or the international movement, they are going to give more emphasis. Correct? If that is the case, when I just talk about Indian national movement, right? Maybe, see, from person to person, it may change. Few, when they talk about Indian national movement, they want to start from 1857. Right? Some of the authors say, okay, Indian national movement almost, say, for example, starts from 1885 and goes till what? 1947. Either you take it from 1880, say, for example, 1857, the Great Revolt, or you start from the, say, for example, starting of Congress, INC, Indian National Congress, whatever it is the case, that 90 years of time, right? Or say, for example, or the last 100 years of this freedom struggle, it is going to be very, very important. Indian national movement, more questions are generally asked from these areas, accepted. But now comes the question, history of India. What all I can include in history of India? My dear friends, this history of India can further be classified as what? Chronologically, I can divide it as what? Ancient India. I can divide it as modern India. All right. In between, I can call it as what? Medieval India. Am I right? So ancient, medieval, and modern. See, analyzing past year's question, one thing we feel. Number of questions in medieval India has decreased. Ancient India has increased. Then comes one area, art and culture. Now comes the question, okay, ancient, medieval, and modern, I can understand. And most part of the modern is again covered under what? Indian national movement. But still, where this art and culture comes, see, art and culture questions are not asked as art and culture question. They are asked as a part of history question. Correct? Most of the time, say for example, most performing arts also they'll be, say for example, talking about visual arts also they'll be talking about. Okay, whatever it is the case, art and culture, you should see it as more of what? Part of this preparation as such. I understand, say for example, NCRT is more than enough. And see the beauty, the latest NCRT, 2025, complete NCRT was revamped. Right? So far, say for example, all that questions what we had so far. See, Tamil Nadu state books are also okay, but I believe Tamil Nadu state book is okay for economy. But I strongly believe since this examination has an all India orientation, it is better to go with NCRT. Right? See, whatever is my personal choice, that is okay. But see, line by line, maybe some other class I can show you, line by line they have taken from NCRT. So now NCRT is not only acting as a source of knowledge. NCRT, my dear friends, why it is becoming more important? It is becoming the source of question. Right? Geography, I can show you, my dear friends. Page number with page number, win paragraph, right? A screenshot of NCRT and the question asked in UPSC, I can compare it. 2024, at least 8 questions I can show you, line by line, what they have taken from NCRT. So if that is the case today, if I know that where exactly questions are coming from, as a rational individual, I should go for it. Okay. And see, whether to read this old NCRT or new NCRT, I always believe that you go for new NCRT. Because see, an examiner is setting the question paper. And this year, this question is very tricky. Very tricky. Today you go, you search NCERT books. Available in the market is different. Available in the website is different. Correct? Available in the market, old NCERT is available. Available in the website is the latest NCERT. At least, for example, many classes till class 10th, 11th and 12th, no major changes. All the changes they have done it till class 10th. Class 11 plus 1, say higher secondary, they have not done any changes this year. Okay. If that is the case, slightly higher secondary books, if I'm comparing, if I'm, say, for example, studying, slightly I'm safe. The question here rises when I go for this new or old NCERT, I should take a call when I read NCERT from class 6 to class 10 as such. Okay. Higher secondary is going to be your question potential area. Okay. Whatever it is the case, sorry. Yeah. Whatever it is the case, I would suggest new NCERT will be better. Given the convenience. If I am an examiner, if I am setting a question paper, I will be seeing that what is the books available, open source book available, right? If at all, if UPSC is giving a direction, certainly speaking, I will be going to this NCERT site. I will be seeing these books. What is available there, only that I will be taking for my reference. Correct. If that is the case, rationally, I would suggest go for new NCERT. Right? Okay, my dear friends. Now, when I talk about history again, as I said, Indian national movement, the part of modern Indian history, you have to concentrate more number of revisions. Correct? Apart from that, nowadays I'm just finding a trend, right? Whereas ancient Indian history, right? Ancient Indian history is gathering a lot of importance, my dear friends. Ancient, right? Ancient history. Again, I believe that NCERT is fine enough for ancient India, right? Rely on NCERT. See, history, my dear friends, rely on NCERT. Geography, you rely on NCERT. Polity, the basic NCERT, and say, for example, I would put it this way, Lakshmikant, the universal Lakshmikant is there. Again, ancient India, if you ask me, okay, fine, entire NCERT, right? As one of my friends said, right? Buddhism, Jainism, Vedic, later Vedic, and of course, very important, Indus Valley civilization. Am I right? 5 areas you concentrate, majority of the question areas you are covering it. Correct? What I'm just trying to say, your dependence on NCERT or reliance on NCERT is very, very important for these subjects. Where the problem comes, problems comes with the economy. Till today, larger market, right? Economy, say for example, still searching a source for economy is still a challenge. Plenty of books are available in the market which is superficially covering the so-called unknown syllabus. But still this book is not becoming so popular. It is becoming bulkier, but it is not becoming so relevant or it is so popular. Whatever it is the case. But still again, what they say, right? Maybe, right? You go with current affairs, but largely it is believed that, okay, 2 books of class 11 and 12 NCERT you concentrate, right? One, right? You call them as what? Say, for example, one book. You call them as what? Introductory Macroeconomics. Microeconomics is not part of our syllabus, right? You talk about this introductory macroeconomics. And there is another book called as what? India Socio-Economic Development, class 11. Indian Socio-Economic Development of class 11 and Introductory Macroeconomics of class 12. This book, 2 books you take it. I think somewhere this book will give you a larger idea. With that, you add some of the other books, right? For example, as some of, right, even say, for example, Shankar Ganesh book, accepted, okay. Right, Shankar Ganesh book also you can take it. See, every year Shankar Ganesh book is becoming bulkier and bulkier. Correct? Even Nitin Sinania's book has come. That also you can keep it as what reference. Okay. Say, for example, or Indian economy, right? I forgot the author, right? Maybe this McGraw-Hill publication, right? Maybe I can also say, for example, have this book as what? Reference, right? But still, I would say that have NCERT as a very, very important source. Ramesh Singh, thank you. Ramesh Singh book as such. Okay. So have NCERT. Now, my dear friends, environment. Then comes environment. Environment. I understand that environment is going to also have more relevance to current affairs. Okay, but still, conceptually, environment, I have to somewhere focus on 3 areas. My syllabus itself says environmental ecology, biodiversity, and climate change. Those three areas. Even say, for example, NCERT class 11 or 12 biology book. Say, for example, that is also, say, for example, taken as what? One important sources. Okay. Otherwise, again, we have, say, for example, environment concept-wise, yes, there are plenty of books which is available in the market. Okay. Some of the books I can take it as a reference material, but still try to concentrate more on the segmented areas. Environmental ecology, right? Climate change and biodiversity. Fine, whatever it is the case, right? Some basic, say, for example, material for the same, you can just keep it. Whatever it is the case. Okay. Right. Environment. Right. NCERT, we do not have a separate book for environment. Environment always comes as a part of either geography or it comes as a part of bioscience. Right. For example, very simple. When I talk about environment, largely climate change is okay. Apart from that, I have something called as what? Biogeography. Understand? The word itself says what? Biogeography. Correct? Biogeography. Biology and geography coming together forms that part of what? Environment. That's the reason geography also you find environment. Biological science also I find some environment sections as such. But still, as some of you said, right, have some books as a basic book for your environment. Okay. Now, my dear friends, what about this current affairs? How again concentrate on current affairs? See, current affairs, newspaper reading, there is no substitute for it. But fine, what is the problem of newspaper reading? Consolidation. Consolidation is very important because revision is very, very important. Whatever I have read for this 1 year, I have to revise it. Now, strategically approaching current affairs. Next year, my examination is happening on May 24th. Okay. I assume that, say, for example, the 1st of May, my question paper is ready. Correct. Say, for example, all questions are set and it is gone for printing, distribution, whatever it is the case. I'll keep my cutoff date as 1st of May or first week of May. If not first, I'll put it as what? First week of May. On a safer side. So certainly I understand 24th examination, I will not have a question which is happening on 23rd or 21st of May. Correct. If that is the case, I should read current affairs. My cutoff date for current affairs will be last of April 2026. Safer side, one more week of May you add it. Now, my dear friends, from there you have to go for backtracking. What is my backtracking? It is 5 plus 3 plus 2. What is this 5? December 2025 to April 2026. I'm telling you, most of the questions asked in current affairs will be asked from this area. Correct? December, 5 months. December, January, February, March, April, 5 months. This 3 months. Okay. Somewhere I'll take it as September, October, and November, right? September, October, and November, right, of 2025. This is the area where most of the Nobel laureates or Nobel Prize is being what? Announced. And most of the science and technology questions will be having a relevance from this Nobels or Nobel, say, for example, right? Almost Nobel laureates and their inventions will be having that orientation, relevance you will be having it. Slightly putting on a safer side, I can add month of July and I can add the month of what? August for a safer side. If you ask me, will they not ask questions outside this 10 months? Yes, there is a chance. There are instances where, in the name of current affairs, they have asked the questions which is as old as 3 years. That is not current affairs. That has become part of history. Correct. I'm not denying. One or question. See, exceptions are not exam. I'm telling you, if at all, if I start preparing for exceptions, right? People normally say, right, I have to prepare for the best case scenario. All that area I have to study. Only then I will be going for this examination. I'm telling you, that scenario will never happen. Correct? Covering the syllabus will not happen for the simple reason, what is the syllabus? That itself we do not know for prelims. That's what always we say, right? Be somewhere, be rational. Be rational in somewhere preparing yourself for this examination. Okay, right, my dear friends. Now, I'm talking about the safe zone. 10 months of preparation, 10 months of current affairs, you are there in a safer zone. I wish you go for a monthly magazine, right? Monthly magazine, or this dates alone, say for example, monthly magazines are very important for consolidation purpose, revision purpose. Okay, before the day of examination, I should sit and revise, right? All 1 year of newspaper, I cannot take it, I cannot revise it. That is not possible. Otherwise, say for example, I have seen student who have taken, say for example, notes from newspaper. That's a very good habit. I'm not denying the fact, but I should also understand it is a time consuming process. If I can beat that, still if I can effectively prepare, take notes from newspaper, you are extraordinary, right? I'm not denying that you cannot do it, but only thing is that my concern is time consuming. Okay, so read a newspaper, very important articles, you cut it down, paste it somewhere, whatever it is the case, you collect it, but organize it somewhere. If you feel that okay, that is organizing that newspaper events is taking more time, apart from reading newspaper, also read what? Magazine. Monthly magazine, monthly, daily, see, that's what I'm telling you, right? Monthly consolidation becomes easy. For example, I told you, right, 3-5 months is very, very important. December to April, so market will be available. December current affairs, January current affairs, am I right? Take it, prepare it, right? Revise it. Science and technology, or the so-called general science, to be very precise, to be honest, okay, if I can relate it with the current affairs, and somewhere if I just prepare it, that is okay, right? Just for general science, just because syllabus says general science, going to NCRT and reading NCRT may not be needed. Not needed. Still, I'll be there in a safer side. My dear friends, so what I have to do? Totally, I have just given you 7 areas. In 7 areas, I repeat again. Order. I'll give you order. Polity. Why polity is so important? For 2 reasons. Certainty of the number of questions being asked, and the accuracy level of the aspirant in this subject. So what I have to do? I have to invest more time on polity and more number of revisions. Number 2, geography. Even in this geography, I would advocate you concentrate more on physical geography, the 2 books what I said. I'm not saying that other books you should not read. I'm saying that whatever I'm highlighting, you should go for more number of revision. How many number of revision, that also I'll tell you. Correct. 2 books. Fundamentals of Physical Geography, class 11 part A. India Physical Environment, class 11 part. More number of revision. Right. Number 3, economy. Economy. I have just suggested 2 NCRT along with the standard book, what you can have it. Right. Introductory macroeconomics, barring that unit 4 of it, then Indian, right, social and economic development of India. Okay, that 2 books along with the standard books. Okay, history. Talk about history. Given the current scenario, concentrate more on ancient India. That too I said, right? Say for example, I said Jainism, Buddhism, Indus Valley civilization, Vedic and later Vedic. But still, history faculty will be having his own perception. That will be more, say for example, that will have more impact than what I say. Correct? My analysis, overall analysis is okay, but I have a greater understanding in the geography as a subject. Similarly, history faculty will be having a greater understanding in history as a subject. Okay. But what I understand is a superficial one, but still what history faculty says, what polity faculty says, that you take it, right, as a more validated statement. Okay. History, ancient, you give more importance. Modern India, you give more importance, particularly, right? I'm talking about this Indian national movement. Say, for example, last 90 years, 1857 to 1947, or even from 1885, if you want to start also, it is okay. It is safer zone. Start with 1857 and 1947. That 90 years you give more importance. More importance, right? Environment. Environment concepts. Only 3 areas. Environmental ecology, biodiversity, climate change. And current affairs is going to play a very, very important role in environment. General science, you leave it, it is not going to make big difference. My dear friends, I'm telling you, this area is where I have to concentrate more. I have to give more importance Do not hesitate giving 80% of your time only for this area. Only for this area. Remaining 20% of time, I don't mind you give it for current affairs. Current affairs, again, I'm telling you, for current affairs. Current affairs, right? I always go for this 5 plus 3 plus 2, right? Backtrack it. Last 5, right? I'll put this way, right? April, March, February, January, January 2025. Sorry, excuse me, December 2025. Sorry. Then another 3, as I said, right? November, right? October, September. Then another 2, August and July. Fine. So I'm studying second year of computer science engineering where I need to start, sir. Very simple. See, if you're there in college, develop newspaper reading as a habit, half an hour, more than enough. Rest of these areas. What is not going to change, that you concentrate. Your foundation will be very, very strong. Okay. Now, my dear friends, all these areas, when I said, do not hesitate somewhere having a revision of 5 to 10 times. 5 times is minimum. 10 times is ideal. 10 times you're super safe. Super safe. If I can take a book, take a subject 10 times, if I'm reading it, I'm telling you, you are super safe, my dear friends. I'm telling you, see, all this subject, it's my way of understanding all this subject. What I'll do, normally people say, right, voracious reading. I don't agree that voracious reading. Okay. My strategy is very simple. Preliminary examination, what I will select is only 10 books. Only 10 books. Only 10 books. Sometimes less than this 10 books. Only 10 books. I'm telling you, just for maybe a simple understanding, I'm using, say, for example, rounded off figures. My entire preparation of prelims, I'm going to rely only on 10 books, barring current affairs. This 10 books, I'm going to read it 10 times. Right? This is going to give me immense knowledge. And I'm telling you, if you're not going to revise, prelims is not for you. Revision is very important because the quantum of information, what you will be taking, what you will be understanding, what you will be digesting is very, very high. Without revision, if you're not revising, it is as good you're not, as good as not, you're not started your studies as. So revision is very, very important. 10 books, 10 times, my dear friends. I guarantee 99% you're clearing this examination. Then comes the question. This is for knowledge part. Then comes one very difficult area. People normally say, right, I am studying so many hours, I'm studying for 12 hours. People say that I study for 24 hours. I've seen somebody saying that I've studied for 25 hours. Whatever it is the case, right? That may not happen. But what I'm telling, even after putting so much of hard work, people complain that I'm not able to get marks. I'm not able to convert my knowledge into what? Marks. Where exactly that problem comes in? Practice. Very important. My dear friends, I'm telling you, without practice, again ensure that you're not going for examination. What is that practice? Practice of MCQs. This is books. When I talk about MCQs, multiple choice questions, I would say safest, being super safe. If I can solve somewhere around the 10,000 MCQs, 10,000 MCQs, when I say multiple choice questions, when I write this number, you feel that 10,000 MCQs and all, it is too much. Don't see 10,000 MCQs. Read it as 100 question papers. Every question paper will be having 100 questions each. It is very much doable that one day, one question paper I can do. 2 hours examination, 2 hours I can read somewhere, do 100 questions. Correct? 2 hours, 100 questions. It means one question paper, 2 hours. Correct? 100 question paper, 200 hours. That is what you are going to do. What I'm just trying to say, my dear friends, if I can somewhere read 10 books, and if I can revise this 10 books for 10 times, then if I can somewhere practice 100 question papers, when I say practice, if my answer is right, okay, I cherish. If somewhere, if my answer is not right, I should go back to the books and somewhere I should see that where I made a mistake. This is what we call them as a learning from the mistake or reverse engineering. And I'm telling you, generally the students of the Northern Belt, people who are there on the Gangetic Plain, right, they're very competitive when it comes to examination decoding. Particularly when I talk about the aspirants from Bihar, UP, Rajasthan, etc. They have a very systematic way of understanding the syllabus, right? Means I'm fascinated about this. Say, for example, reverse engineering. They try to decode, they try to read the mindset of the examiner from the question papers, analysis of the question paper, practice of the question paper, and that too, your practice question paper should start from previous year's question. Very, very important. Only if I start from previous year's question, I will know the mindset of the examiner. I'll know the expectations of the UPSC. I will know the syllabus relevance and say, for example, how the syllabus and the question are interrelated. That much I can understand. Correct. So my suggestion is very simple: 10 books, 10 times, right? Along with that, if I can solve 10,000 multiple choice questions or 100 question papers, 99.99 percentage, I guarantee that you'll be writing your mains examination. Sincerely, right? I'll take the blame. Even if you're not able to do it, after doing this judiciously, not for namesake. Okay? If I'm doing it, if you are doing it, my dear friends, after judiciously you do it, right? Still you're not able to qualify this preliminary examination, I bet I take this blame. Okay, strategy is so simple. Now comes the execution, right? When it comes to execution, right? So how to integrate, somebody asked, right? So starting all 5 subjects is best, or complete 2 subjects and next 2 subjects. That depends on individual. I'll come to the question session later. Okay, now see here. This is the strategy, simple strategy. So kindly ensure that you practice question, kindly ensure you study. And one more thing. Normally, we have a habit. We say that, okay, yes, the entire polity I should read, only then I'll take the question. Don't do that. If I am completing fundamental rights, take the questions of fundamental rights and you do it. Now, today you have this chatbots. Am I right? So many AI tools are there. You say, for example, somewhere you can feed it. You do this machine learning, correct? Whatever it is the case. You ask your chatbot, your buddy, your AI buddy to generate questions and give. Or say, for example, if questions are available in the open market, you take it, you solve it. Okay. Every chapter, my dear friends, every topic, subtopic, there is a question available. Of UPSC, past year question is also there. Okay. So you study a topic, only then and there itself you solve the questions as such. Okay. So repository, try to have a repository of questions, right? Okay. And that repository of questions should start from your previous year's question, right? Start your previous year's analysis from 2011. Don't go beyond 2011, because 2011 is that year when the major modification, last major modification of your pattern was done. Whatever the pattern what we are following was introduced in 2011. Don't go beyond it. So 2011 to 2025, I have 15 years question paper. That itself, somewhere I have 1,500 questions with me. Current affairs, you leave it. Correct? At least 1,300 questions, effective static area questions I'll be having it. Okay? Right. I'm telling you, this is going to be the complete strategy for preliminary examination. Now comes the question, how to execute it? Very simple. Every, 6 months we have, including today and the day of examination, 188 days we have. 188 days. Okay, fine. 6 months. 188 days, 187 days, that and all you leave it. 6 months. Approximately we have 6 months. Kindly ensure that at least 6 days a week you read. Another 6 months is there, my dear friends. 6 months. Right? Every, say, for example, right, at least 6 days a week you have to study. Very hard. Very hard. Very hard. Correct? Try to prepare as though there is no next year for you. Correct? Now, what you have to do, every week before a week starts, you should have a planner. You should have a planner. Say, for example, I'll put it this way, right? My planner. Sunday you take rest, whatever is the case. One day, all 7 days. Normally, I don't advocate student to study all 7 days. Even if I suggest, people will not read. That is a different story. Okay, whatever it is the case, right? What do you do? Working professional also, I'll just, you develop a planner. Okay. For example, say, right? Be very practical, right? For example, assume that this is Monday, right? Which day? Monday, correct? Monday. You start allotting the time. First, somewhere you identify that available time. If I am a working professional, identify when the time is available to you. Always, I believe that morning, right? Morning time. Being an early bird will change your life. There is a very famous book called as 5 a.m. club. Somewhere if opportunity comes, you read that book also. Okay, whatever it is, I believe that being an early bird is very, very important. I recommend if I can read, say for example, somewhere if I can allot, maybe I'll put this way, time slot 1, right? Maybe this time 1. No. No. Person to person this may change, but I would say 5 to 8. If not 5 to 8, 5 to 7:30 a.m. in the morning. AM. 5 to 7:30. If I can start at 4 o'clock, very, very good. Fantastic. But 5 is okay, very practical. I'm just talking about. 5 to 7:30, I'm telling you my difference is 2.5 hours is equivalent to nearly 4 to 5 hours in the evening. Mind will be very fresh in the morning. Correct? And try to have a decent sleep. 6 to 8 hours is good. 7 hours is ideal. Less than 6 means you are reducing your lifespan. Okay. Don't do that. 6 is minimum, 8 is maximum. 7 is ideal. Whatever it is the case, right? Now 5 to 7:30, my dear friends, have a slot. If you're a working professional, say for example, somewhere during the office, somewhere 1.5 hours you find it. Otherwise, say for example, after the office, you say for example, find a time. Right. Others, if you're not working, okay, after 7:30, I'm just taking a say for example, very considerable break. Right? Have your breakfast, have your day, right? Everything is there. Then come say for example, right, a 9 to 12 approximately I can have. 9 to 12. Another 3 hours I'm just adding it. Then again you take a break, right? You come back somewhere around, say for example, 2 to 4 I can have a session, right? Again, say for example, you come back, right? Take a break. Maybe say for example, 5 to 7, 5 to 7:30 I can have a session. I'll put it this way, 5 to 7 you have a session. Then say for example, again you take a break, come back, say for example, somewhere around 8:30 or 9 to 10 I can have a session, right? See for example, I have included so many breaks in between. Here I have 2.5 hours. Here I have 3 hours. Here I have 2 hours. Here I have 2.5 hours. Here again I have what? 1 hour. Correct. So that is I guess approximately 5, somewhere around 10 hours. I'm just bringing what? 10 hours. More than 10, 11 hours is coming. Approximately 11 hours are there. Okay. Now see, 11 hours at this moment. Okay, if you can do it, you do it. Otherwise, I believe this is the time where at least somewhere around 6 to 8 hours you should read, right? Not less than this time. Okay. Now, working professionals, I agree. Say, for example, this time is not available to you, right? And this 5 hours is not available. If that is the case, say, for example, I have another 6 hours. Okay. Now, I'll tell you, my dear friends, whatever subject you want to allot in this time, that is okay. That is your choice. Okay. But here, that is completely your choice. But this last hour is very, very important. This last 1 hour only, 1 hour, what we suggest, have it for revision. Whatever you have studied in that day, right? Complete day, just have a glance. If 1 hour is not possible, half an hour. Have a glance, right? Only revising or having a glance of what I studied today, I should go to bed. And again, when I sleep, when I wake up in the next day morning, before I start with a new subject, it is good, it is better, right? That I again have a glance of what I studied in previous day. 15 minutes, not more than that. Okay. We call it as a reminiscence process. Here itself, see how many revisions you are doing. Whatever I have studied, at the end of the day, I am doing one revision. Again, before starting the day, again I am doing one more revision. Here itself, once I am studying, twice I am revising. See, every time I am trying to increase my revision. Very important. There, the possibility and probability of you remembering information will be what? Great. Right? Now, my dear friends, do not start a week without a planner. And see, for example, I have seen aspirants, right? They say 5 o'clock, I wake up, 5, I'll be brushing my teeth, right? Whatever it is, I guess, tea, coffee, taking bath, everything they include. That is okay. That leave that practice. Which hour I'm going to study, that alone you take it. Even say, for example, I'm telling you, right, every session should be minimum 2 hours, maximum 3 hours. After 3 hours, you take a break. Even say, for example, if you somewhere you feel that I cannot study more than 1.5 hours, okay, no problem. Study for 1.5 hours, then you take a break. Then you study, you refresh, you play, you go for a walk, physical fit, walking, games, everything is fine. Correct? Everything is fine. But still, this 2 to 3 hours is that time where I'm going to execute. What I'm going to do is very simple. Every week, I'm going to have a planner of this structure. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, till Saturday, I'm going to add it. Sunday, you take an off. You take off. Working professional, Sunday is very important for you. You cannot take off on Sunday. Office is off, but you have to work on Sundays. Okay. Now, my dear friends, 2 to 4 in the afternoon, I can have it for my MCQ practice. Right? Somewhere 9 to 12 itself, somewhere 1 hour I can have it for my newspapers, current affairs, others for subject. Say, for example, 5 to 7:30 in the morning, I can have it for my subject. You have to plan it. What subject I'm going to read this week, plan it. Approximately, you have a monthly planner. Somewhere you take it, okay, this month I'm going to complete polity, I'm going to complete so and so subject. Okay. Or these many chapters of polity, these many chapters of geography, whatever it is the case. Either I can simultaneously study different subjects or I can go one by one, both, right? It depends on your individual capacity. Have a planner to execute it. So, my dear friends, keep things very, very simple, right? Somewhere I told you 10 books. Approximately, I have just given you the 10 books also indirectly. If you count it, 10 books may not come, but still I'm telling you, right? If at all, if I can identify that so-called, that safe 10 books, collect it first. Very important, right? Start studying it. Start studying it. 10 books 10 times. And as I said, try to solve more number of questions. 10,000 questions means you are super safe. Today, nowadays, till your notification comes out, the number of MCQs what you solve, you keep it minimum. Right? 5 MCQs you solve, 10 MCQs you solve per day. That is okay. After your notification, things should change. Right? It means it is something like, see, this is a long race, I understand. Don't start at a very high pace and end up in nothing. Slowly, steadily, gradually increase your pace. Warm up. Right? Then shift the gear. Come to the next, say, for example, next gear. Then increase the number of hours. Okay? Right. Then say, for example, towards the end of the examination and all, don't ask me about the hours. Whenever time permits, you eat. Whenever time permits, you sleep. Correct? That is how things should be. Okay? Right, my dear friends? Right? Somewhere I have just given you a gist for today's session, and we'll be having a number of other sessions also. And can you please list out all the 10 books? Okay, 10 books when I said it is approximately, but still, I'll count it. Polity, Lakshmikant is one. Okay. Geography, there are 4 books, but what I have suggested is only 2 books as of now. Fundamentals of Physical Geography and India Physical Environment. Okay. History, maybe I can suggest, say, for example, 3 NCRTs. One is for ancient, medieval, and modern. Totally how many? 6. Environment is 1. Economy, I have suggested 2, right? Macroeconomics, introductory macroeconomics, and say, for example, right, social and economic development of India. I think, say, for example, only 9 books. Current affairs, somewhere I feel that all current affairs put together is 1 book, 10 books, something like that. Okay. What is the major difference between, yeah. Okay. Now I'll try to answer your question one by one. What is the major difference between standard books and NCRT? See, for geography, nowadays I'm somewhere regarding NCRT itself is a standard book. If somebody asks me, what is that standard book I should read for geography in UPSC, I would say 11th standard book, 12th standard book. That's what I say. Nowadays, I'm not separating NCRT and standard book for geography. If you would have asked me same question before 5 years, I would say there is one standard book called as Goching Leong. Correct? One standard book written by Savindra Singh. One standard book written by D.S. Lal. Okay. Nowadays, NCRT is my standard book, my dear friends. Right? Okay. See, and one more thing, since you asked this question, standard books, normally we have 2 books. Right about NCRT, we have 2 types of book. One I call them as standard books, and 2 you call them as what? Guide books, textbook and guide book. Textbook are those books based on which your syllabus itself will be framed. Whereas guidebooks are those books which is written based on the syllabus. So there is a difference in it. Okay. Whatever it is the case. Any suggestion for taking revision hints from notes? Any suggestion for taking revision hints from notes? I think Dinesh, I hope you're asking about making your own notes for subjects. Can you slightly elaborate this question? In between, I'll see others' question. Okay. When we have to start studying for mains examination, see, mains examination, generally we would say till December. Till December, you should study mains as well as prelims both. After December, slowly, steadily, you should give the transition. January, the month of transition. January is the month where very less of mains, more of prelims. February, March, April, only prelims. Slightly, if you want to put on a safer side, I would say from January itself, only prelims. Till December, you take both the prelims and mains together. From January, for safer side, January, February, March, April, only prelims. Okay. What are the other questions? So for newspaper reading, it's taking more than an hour. How should we read it? See, 1 hour of newspaper is bare minimum. You cannot reduce it. 1 hour you don't mind. If newspaper is taking 4 hours, then I should mind it. 1 hour is okay, boss. Okay. And see, 10 to 20 percentage of time for current affairs accepted. Sir, what about optionals? This is not the right class for optional. Certainly speaking, some other session we'll have. I have my own notes, but it is an elaborate. Sorry.
Sir, I'll put a link. Ask them to post their questions. We'll do YouTube videos.
Okay.
Time is not there.
Right, my dear friends, as one of our staff is suggesting, that all these questions you can somewhere put it in a link that Google Forms they are sending it, right? Somewhere you post it. Maybe we'll just try to send you by mail reply. Okay. Right. So thank you. God bless. Start your preparation slowly, steadily. You increase the pace and be comfortable. Right time, right pace of preparation is needed. Okay. So never think that this examination is very, very difficult, and certainly do not also think that this examination is very, very easy. Somewhere in between, try to understand the nuances of the examination. Understanding of the syllabus is important. Analysis of the past year's question is important. Selecting the right study material is important. And what is very, very important is executing it. Study, practice, convert that into marks. Thank you and God bless.
Veranda IAS, where your dream becomes reality.